Hello, my wonderful people. My good Biafran brothers and sisters, the Southeasterners, the Igbos that are residing either in Nigeria or in Diaspora. Well, there's a headline I saw this morning, and I think it is very, very important we ponder over this very particular issue. And I don't say my news is always on point, and I try as much as possible I can to make sure that every Tom and Jerry understands my simple language. You know, I don't come in a very big grammar like all this grammatical blunder of Patrick or Bible of the other side, you know, middle belt or whatever it's being called. So I use a very simple language that is very, very understandable to a layman, and that is why I want us to ponder and deliberate on this very issue of what is happening in our geopolitical zone, which is the southeastern region of the country. Well, without not taking much of your time, I want you to listen to this, because why I want to bring this to our notice and to our understanding and hearing is the state of deplorable roads we have in that southeast area, most especially the locally and the state roads. I'm not talking about the federal road, that one is no-go area. But let us see the ugly side of government revenue collectors in the southeastern part of the country. When you look at all this, you find out that now, nobody is doing us. We are the architect of our own problems. And that is why we must do everything humanly possible to make sure that we make things to work. Let's forget about the insecurity. It will become what do they call it? It will become a cash cow. I mean, it will become an ATM for people to kidnap for ransom. Even some people now go to the extent of kidnapping their own self and asking for a ransom from their relatives and their family members. But let's not go there. The issue we have to focus on this very particular morning is the ugly side of the government revenue collectors, the Aboros. Sometimes if you travel to Lagos State, it seems like Lagos is the state of Aboro. But my dear, in the other way around, you find out that even the Lagos Aboros have human sympathies. To compare with what is happening in our own land, our people are very, very wicked, and the kind of mindset they have when they see you, either you are riding a car or motorbike or whatever, my dear, you will shed tears. But I don't want to take much of our time. But before we proceed, please, I would like you, if you are a Southeasterner, an Igbo man, whether you are residing at home or in diaspora, you see this message and you forget to share it. It might not be your turn today. It might be the turn of you tomorrow, or anyone that's related to you. Things are going wrong in our different states in the southeast. And we need to tackle it head straight before it becomes normal. Because one thing about the what is happening either in Nigeria or in the southeast is that when they bring out kind of a pattern to do things, and that pattern is a wrong side of it, but due to our people is always on a fast lane, everybody on Adonia also. That is why you see our own side, where the southeast, it being militarized and politicized, because our people be say they will just hold you now at checkpoint now. You won't even when you know that you are you are right and everything that concerns either your vehicle or your goods is intact, you will be rushing. Oh, my buy and sell is waiting for me. Police you paid and go. So every commissioner of police being stationed in our own side, most of the times they come there with bicycles, but going back they are going back with a bulletproof cars because of the bribes our people are giving to them. It didn't start today. So the earlier we stop this ugly side of the revenue collectors we have in our own side, way be southeast, the better for each and every one. That is why I said when you get this message, you are a Biafran, you are a Southeasterner, and you are an Igbo man, whether you are residing in the southeast or you are residing outside the southeast, you didn't share this message. I don't want to use a derogatory word, but you will flip. That is the way I will put it. Anyway, my wonderful people, please, we get this message. Help me to share it, like and comment. I want us to do what? To ponder over this. We really have to find solution to all these menace that's ravaging the southeastern part of the country in terms of revenue collectors, in terms of aborozoism, aborocism. I don't know how I can put this in English, but please do not mind me. Activities of state governments, revenue agents in the southeast region are worrisome. In other words, the way they harass, intimidate, and extort motorists on the roads and on the streets is very disturbing. in dangerous and brindage manner. They jump into moving vehicles, including trucks, grab the steering and struggle with the drivers to forcibly stop them. This is bizarre and condemnable. Their actions have led to fatalities, including deaths. Revenue collection in the state is chaotic, as there are dozens of agents with different names collecting different taxes and levies imposed by the state government, and many of them do this through harassment, intimidation, and extortion. A recent trending incident that happened in Anambra State, in Onitsha, Anambra State, where revenue collectors viciously attacked a citizen, attracted condemnation and even the state government's intervention in one case in point. High-handedness, Soludo chases away revenue touts from the roads. But in other words, street touting, which people we are not used to in Anambra State, in the previous administrations have become common since the emergence of Governor Chukwuma Charles Mbafu Soludo. Indeed, it came as a surprise, as fierce-looking men aged between 25 and 35 years old have been parading the streets with hooked metals to harass motorists who pull by the roadside either to buy something or to answer telephone calls or to check if their car is at fault. They were even given one funny names, the Unified Hybrid Enforcement Team. Hey, they're gonna see them. Then where they sound like Ogwoke or Tapiapia. And they claim to be working for the Anambra State Internal Revenue Service, which is AIRS. According to the news we gathered here, they usually move in shuttle buses, and once they block the driver, they do a video record of the environment and the vehicle, while one of them would force the driver out of the steering after snatching the vehicle keys. They then inform the driver that he had committed an offense that attracts 50,000 naira fine, but that he might be allowed to go if he could give them 30,000 naira without receipt. Those who refuse to cooperate are forced to the Anambra Road Traffic Management Agency office, where the four tires of the vehicle are immediately deflated and the victim is abandoned while they head to the street again to catch other victims. Abrozoism has become a cash cow in the southeastern part, in fact, in the whole of Nigeria. Most of the victims are non-residents of the state who are not aware of the new bad policy in Anambra State or other southeastern region. Some of the agents, those southeast voice, that they are not placed on any salary. They feed their families with the common or commission from the amount they are able to generate from the government. In other words, my dear, you have to pay through your nose. I don't like this job because of the courses I receive from people. That is one of the Aboros speaking. But there is nothing I can do because I have no other job to do. We were promised during the political campaigns that government would find jobs for us after the election. But after March, what happened? The reverse is the case. But we have not seen the jobs, one of them said. Recently, two members of the Unified Hybrid Operation Catch People That Offenders, we are seen dragging out a Benin City bound driver from his vehicles and drove the car away. They told the man that he owed 37,000 naira, and before the man could say anything, they started dragging him along the third road. Reacting on the high-handedness of the revenue agents, Press Secretary to Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, Mr. Christian Aburime, said, although the UHBET has the mandate to enforce every revenue payment accrued from commercial transport operators plying the roads of Anambra State, each personnel are not supposed to do so in a violent way or manner. It is regrettable that some members of the general public have been circulating videos and wrongly insinuating that the state government authorized the actions of the misguided officers. No, according to him, Governor Chukwuma Charles Mbafu Soludo did not and will never authorize such crude ways of engaging the public for whatever reasons. In Anambra's new evolving society built on principles of law and order, human rights, fairness, and empathy, the trending incident involving the unwholesome actions of the UHBET officers are absolutely unacceptable, as much as the viral video has understandably provoked public outrage. The actions captured in it do not in any way represent the approach of the state government or portray the engagement rules of the revenue services. So the Anambra state government hereby disassociates itself entirely from the indecisive activities of the overzealous revenue officers and offer sincere apologies to the mistreated individual and the wider community of Anambra State. The chairman of the AIRS, Dr. Greg Ezeilo, also ordered for a thorough investigation which had led to the arrest of the offending officers. Meanwhile, Governor Charles Soludo had reduced charges paid by the traffic offenders to 5,000 naira because the business is no longer profitable for them. Most of the revenue agents have voluntarily abandoned the drive. The state government has also announced that the enforcement agencies of the Anambra State Internal Revenue Service, including the ANJET and the UHBET, will undergo proper retraining and reorientation programs to instill a deep sense of responsibility, empathy, professionalism, and respect for human rights among the other operatives. We recognize that tax collection is vital for the development of our great state, but it should never come at the expense of basic human dignity and decency, the government said. Story is different in Anambra, Onitsha. However, the story seems to be different in Onitsha, as residents of the commercial city say a lot of touting in the name of revenue collection still goes on. Their notorious activities are witnessed mostly in the areas like Oga Junction to Atani, in Obaru Council area, Onitsha Owerri Road, Mpo to Onitsha, Old Road and New Road, and Oguta Road to Onitsha Metropolis. They are also seen in Onoka to Old and New Market roads leading to the popular Onitsha Main Market, as well as on the Nsugbe Nkwele Ezunoka Road, also at the foot of the old Niger Bridge up to Opiweka flyover, which could be described as their operational headquarters. Surprisingly, in addition to weekdays, these illegal operators also work on Saturdays and Sundays with impunity. Government and its officials turn blind eyes to the illegal and violent activities of these touts because they are backing them. They use that to settle their political talks and boys. They are also in the other urban and semi-urban areas like Nnewi, Ekulobia, Umunze, Amobia, and Nobi, among others. The impunity with which they operate unchallenged tends to lend credence to the claim by the residents that they truly have backing of the state government in all ramifications. I am a graduate of industrial chemistry from a university in the north. I don't have a job yet. That is why I am driving this tricycle to avoid staying idle. It's only in the southeast, particularly Anambra State, that you will see people collecting revenue on the roads in the name of government revenue agents. You can never see this kind of thing in any state in the north. That it means Ndibo Nemowa, an angry tricycle driver said. Another tricycle operator, Mr. Jaffeti Akudele, retorted, "Who is the touting collecting 5,000 naira from Main Market to Ochanja Market without any receipt? Is it fair for somebody to buy things at Onitsha Main Market and pay 5,000 naira to touts? Who are they working for? The state government cannot claim ignorance of their activities. You cannot ask us to be paying your government 2,500 naira every week and still unleashed out on us. This one is tricycle drivers' laments. These embarrassing activities of the revenue drivers attracted the anger of a visiting US-based Nigerian priest, Ven Augustine Okafor, who bemoaned the violent activities of road traffic agents and other touts extorting money from motorists and others, including wheelbarrow pushers. Onitsha, the commercial city of Anambra State, is not enjoyable at all. People are not contented. People want to acquire what they cannot afford and what they don't need. They are not contented with what they have. Even the road users hardly allow each other. Everybody wants to move at the same time. It is a terrible situation. What a life. You are on the road. Touts are struggling with you for the key to your car, while fellow motorists are struggling with you on the road. Nobody wants to give each other a chance. A lawmaker, Honorable Fred Ezenwa, representing Onitsha South 2 State Constituency at Anambra State House of Assembly, said that it fell squarely within the purview of Governor Soludo to checkmate the violent activities of these state government revenue collectors who go about consulting nuisance and extorting motorists of all types. Inasmuch as I am not saying that they should stop collecting revenues for the state government, they should do it with utmost civility, Ezenwa said. We are changing the narratives. Sanitized revenue collection. This one is coming from Abia State. In Abia, the government has commenced a total clampdown on oppressive flying revenue collectors who have become weapons of oppressors to motorists. On assumption of office, Governor Alex Oti declared war on the touts who unleashed mayhem on motorists and tricycle operators, both at motor parks and on the roads. The governor set up a task force to go after the perpetrators who have hitherto held sway unchallenged. He warned that his administration will not tolerate the old order where government was with criminal silence wiped out terrorized innocent motorists under the guise of revenue collection and vow to deal decisively with illegal revenue collectors. Ferdinand Ekoma, the governor's special advisor on media, said that tremendous success has been recorded in the clampdown on theft and sanitization of the revenue collection system in the state. There has been huge improvement. In fact, we have put a stop to the extortions and harassment by touts on the roads. We are now in the process of restoring sanity in our revenue collection system, admitted that there will always be one or two isolated cases. The truth is that it is no longer business as usual. Right now, we are putting measures in place to have well-organized and responsible task force that will checkmate the activities of unauthorized individuals consisting nuisance on our roads. The revenue collection system will be automated, even though that may not be very easy to apply on flying revenues. We will try as much as possible to eliminate fraud and extortion. We will appoint reasonable persons as flying revenue collectors, and they must operate in strict compliance with the stipulated guidelines to be released by the state government. The new government under Governor Alex Oti will not allow any tout under the guise of revenue collections to constitute a nuisance to road users in Abia or put lives of road users at risk. Anybody engaging in such act will be dealt with accordingly. Very soon, government will roll out hotlines and death offices where victims and members of the public can lodge their complaints against such exploitations and the illegalities for swift actions, Ekoma said. Well, my wonderful people, please, saying here I go take a quarter before I will proceed. There will be a part 2 of this very particular broadcast, or maybe, okay, let us collect it. Let us complete it, sorry to say. In Enugu, one of the agencies notorious for reckless revenue driving and extortion is the MOT, attached to the State Ministry of Transport. The operatives illegally arrest their victims, divert them to less busy streets or corners to negotiate how much to extort from them, and none of the money goes into government coffers. Oftentimes, they are seen rough-handling and quarreling with motorists and tricycle operators who resist them. They are everywhere in Enugu metropolis, roaming the streets in search of prey. However, those of them deployed to control traffic are defined and do their work diligently. A commercial tricycle operator, Dino Martins, who had been a victim to them and other revenue collectors, condemned their activities and called on the Enugu state government to urgently automate its revenue collection system. He said that the enforcers and agents are not helping the government but are out to enrich themselves. Recently, some people who claim to be officials of Enugu North Local Government Council stormed some streets around Obiago area, including Edinburgh Road and adjoining street, forcibly catching away people's wealth and belongings in the name of collecting businesses, premises, taxes. Well, my wonderful Biafran brothers, the Southeasterners, the Igbo in general, this one are the message you want to say, make I come for now. This one on just Anambra State, Abia and Enugu. I'm still coming back again with that of Imo and Ebonyi State, because all these things are general sickness in the Southeast. Sometimes we keep on blaming other tribes of our predicament, but rather we are the architect of our own problems. So whichever way you see, so as an Igbo man, as a Biafran man, as a Southeasterner, use your two hands to share this message so that you get to the highest authority for them to look into this very matter before it is too late. Have a nice day. May the good Lord bless you as you share this message, and as you do the needful, subscribe, like, and comment to my channel for better news next time. I'm coming back for part 2 of this very particular broadcast. Have a nice day. Kemesiano.